What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. I'm once again joined by Tyler, and we are back for our Pirates of the Caribbean Community Series, a community series that airs every other Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. We have a very special video for today. Now, today is July 6th, a couple days before July 9th, which is the 15th year anniversary. It actually released in theaters on July 9th, 2003. Funny enough, it actually released at Disneyland's Resort on June 28th, 2003, which is actually my birthday, which I just found on Wikipedia, which is a cool little tidbit. But what we're going to do in this video is Tyler and I are going to go back and forth, kind of talk about the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise in general, what it means to us, also what it means to this channel. You know, we've built a sizable portion of this channel because of Pirates of the Caribbean, so we're just going to go back and forth, talk about Pirates of the Caribbean, basically, go back in time and talk about, you know, it started almost 15 years ago to this day, and of course we want to know in the comments below what you guys think of this. What are some of your Pirates of the Caribbean memories? What do you think about this franchise that makes it so special? So, Tyler, I'll throw it to you. 15 years almost. I don't know if you want to give maybe the first time you watched the movie, or if you remember, but also just what Pirates has meant to you and also what it's meant to Podcast Now.
Well, it came out the day after my birthday, so at that point I was 10 years old, and the first time I saw it was not in theaters. I believe it was around Halloween of the same year, and my father, we pirated the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and I'm not admitting to anything, FBI agents who are listening, but we may have pirated the Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl movie. Watched it, actually thought it was really cool, especially back then, like technology wise, seeing, you know, how when Barbossa and his crew entered the moonlight changed. That was very different. Nobody did anything like that. It was, and to have him like half skeleton, half human, and all that stuff, that was very cool, very new. Jack was a very, like, you know, it was like a fun character. It was just an overall fun film and adventure film. So, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. And then because of that, when they announced Dead Man's Chest, and I think they might have even announced 2 and 3 back to back. I think I was looking into it before, like back then, and I found out how they were doing 2 and 3 back to back. And then, you know, from there, then I obviously went. That was the first movie I ever went to see a midnight. That was before they did the, like 7 p.m. the day before. Back then, for us old geezers, it was literally the only showtime. It was like one showtime, and it was like at midnight, or it was like 11 o'clock. So that was the first time I ever did anything like that, like a day before release, or whatever they call it, midnight release. And I remember the reactions were the craziest. That's what really made me start to really like midnight release movies, or whatever, the day before movies, because that's when you hear, you know, when everybody's laughing at the same time, when everyone is like experiencing sadness or whatever. All the girls, when Jack gets eaten, everybody was screaming. So, you know, it was just cool to be part of that, and it was just pretty cool that the first time that I've done anything like that was Pirates of the Caribbean. And then, of course, at World's End, I did the same thing. And it was just, they were really different and really like fun movies that I looked forward to. And I still do now, more so than before, just because, I didn't with 4, that's for sure. Because I had a feeling it wasn't going to be the same because of what we always talk about on this channel, how 2 and 3 were just like the top. But like soundtrack or score, or whatever the word you want to use, I still believe is one of the best, if not the best, scores for any film. And so, like, having said that, when other Pirates of the Caribbean movies are coming out, like how 5, like there was a reason that Alex and I was so excited. And then with 6 eventually going to be announced soon, hopefully, definitely, probably, maybe, with 6 being announced pretty soon, in a year, but it's still kind of soon. To have that momentum and like, okay, the teaser's gonna be at the Super Bowl or this or that. Like, it's just cool to have that type of film, because really I feel like as the years go on, especially like with something like Star Wars that I used to really like, now I don't even look forward to it as much, because it's not that they killed it, it's just like what they've been doing with that franchise just isn't the same. Where I feel like with Pirates, even though 4 was not as good, at least 5 was still, in my opinion, close to the level of what we were getting before. So, at least it's still for the most part Pirates of the Caribbean, where you can look at other film franchises and you can't really say that, like Star Wars, you can't really say that. Lord of the Rings compared to The Hobbit, you can't say that. You could even do Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts. I know we only had Fantastic Beasts, the first one, so far, but compared to the Harry Potter films, there's almost no comparison. Good film, but no comparison. So I guess what I'm saying is, at least with Pirates of the Caribbean, it's still pretty much consistent to what it was when it first released.
I agree. I mean, this is a special franchise. I remember I watched the first one leading up to Dead Man's Chest. I didn't watch it for the first several years. So I watched it around 2006. And then when I went to see Dead Man's Chest, I watched that at the drive-in. And it was, I think, one of the first movies I ever saw in the drive-in. I remember, I've said it before here, not even understanding what was going on, and the fact that I didn't know that there was a third one yet. And, when they were getting close to the end, I'm like, are we going to get a Davy Jones fight scene? Like, what's going on? Then obviously the ending happens. It's like, oh my God. Like, how can they top this? How can they put everything together in a 3? And then they did. And, while Tyler and I both think that, Pirates of the Caribbean 1, we've done our rankings. It's not high. It's definitely in the lower end of our scale. It's actually the second least favorite of ours. But it doesn't mean it's a bad movie. I mean, this movie really kicked off everything for Pirates of the Caribbean, and really started what has been really an amazing ride over the past 15 years, literally based off of a ride. And the adventures and the characters and the stories and all that stuff that it's told has been really, really incredible, especially, for us. We take a lot of pride in this channel, and making the Pirates of the Caribbean Community Series, we never, or at least I never, when I first made those first couple videos of Pirates of the Caribbean, I never thought it would be what it came out to be. I didn't think there was an audience for it. I knew the movies did really, really good, but I just didn't think that people cared as much as me about Pirates of the Caribbean and wouldn't search YouTube for these kind of videos, especially because we were much smaller at the time. And the fact that they did, and we got a massive, massive following because of it, and those videos are very, very special to us, and we had a fantastic year last year. We met a lot of amazing people. I met an amazing person, so we've really had quite a journey because of Pirates of the Caribbean. It's really, really insane that it all stemmed just from that first movie, just based off of the ride 15 years ago.
Well, technically, if you think about it, Alex, our podcast now, the first community series that we ever did is Pirates of the Caribbean, and now when you look at what we've done, community series is like a big part of what we do here, and it is actually something that we really envisioned for the channel originally. Just we didn't have like a thing for it. So the funny thing is how Pirates of the Caribbean, for both of us, really, is the thing that ended up bringing us into or putting us on the path that we always wanted to be on for podcasts now in the first place. So that's definitely something special, and I'll obviously always remember that it was Pirates of the Caribbean that took our channel in the direction that we wanted to go as we get larger and all that stuff. It'll always be thanks to Pirates of the Caribbean, which that's really cool, because I do feel like there is a select core group of fans for Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of like you were saying, like, is there even a fan thing? There is a lot of us, but like at its core, there really isn't that many, but it's also in a way a strong community too, where like they just really love Pirates of the Caribbean. So it's awesome that, we got to kind of be or experience that community, be that kind of voice, allow them to ask the questions or decide, like, videos and all that stuff. It was just cool for us to kind of, in my opinion, be like the head of that, at least on YouTube. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that I would say that I'm proud of, to be part of the literal Pirates of the Caribbean community. For us to be, I will say it because I always say it, the largest Pirates of the Caribbean channel on YouTube, where people steal our ideas especially mine, for Pirates of the Caribbean 6. They make their own videos, making like there's a trailer out using the title that I came up with. But I digress. I guess that just goes to show how big we are, with Pirates of the Caribbean on podcast now, that people literally see our work, and we do put in the time and we put in the quality and the effort and all that stuff, so that when people see our stuff, they legitimately sometimes think that it's real. So that's actually a testimony again to us. Not that I'm bragging about ourselves or our channel, but we do care about Pirates of the Caribbean, and we care about the community too.
For sure. It's definitely given us a lot. That's for sure. Like Tyler said, steering our channel, steering our lives, and the way that the channel is going to go in the future. Really, really awesome. That it can be Pirates of the Caribbean, which is what, we've always loved that. Tyler and I have always been a fan of Pirates of the Caribbean, and just to be able to translate this, something that we legitimately love, in what YouTube and what podcast now is basically supposed to be, just talking about things that we really care about. Again, didn't think it could actually work, and it turned out to change my life personally, also change the channel's life going into the future. So we want to definitely thank you guys for following us along for the past a little over a year. We've been doing this, I think, pretty consistently since last February, and we're going to be continuing. So again, every other Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have videos. We fully expect that Pirates 6 will be announced at some point, like Tyler was saying earlier. I fully believe D23 next year, so I think next July of 2019 is when we'll get Pirates 6. So we're going to keep going along with these Pirates videos every other week until we get to Pirates 6, and then we're going to go from there, analyze stuff, and keep going and keep building. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave in the comments below what you guys think of what we talked about today, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.